Going live now.
I do have a question.
We're live.
Okay, good evening. All right, we'll call to order. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening. Because we're fully remote, except for that we're here, we're gonna bypass the public comment, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Dolan for the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, President Carney. I'd like to start my report with, first of all, wishing everyone, whatever they celebrate, a very happy and special holiday, whether it's Hanukkah, Christmas, or Kwanzaa. And I'd like to urge them also to heed the warnings of our health officials. Keep your celebrations small. As we're talking about here in the district, we want to move our celebrations to the spring when we can have a full-on celebration. Do as much virtual as you can, so that we can all be safe and healthy. I think one of the things we're learning from this virus is how important it is to have human interaction and human contact, especially with the ones we love and the ones we work with. So, my wish for all of you is, a happy and healthy holiday, but also a much brighter 2021, which I think is coming. I'd like to address a couple of things here right now. There was some confusion and, it was a difficult thing. We got a phone call Monday afternoon from the Department of Health. There's a letter that went out today. Hopefully that clarifies it. A number of school districts have been flagged as heading towards yellow. Just logically speaking, the Department of Health, which has been wonderful, by the way, the county health department has been extremely supportive and helpful, giving, guidance, but they don't have enough hands to test every school district in the county. They're gonna be coming here for the next 2 days. As explained in the letter, this is our yellow test. If our positivity rate is lower than the positivity rate in our area here, East Islip, Islip Terrace, and Great River, we can remain open and we don't have to test again. But it's also going to be incumbent upon us to be smart, be safe, be healthy, make good choices. If you don't feel well, don't go to work. If you don't feel well, don't come to school. Go get tested. If wash your hands, social distance, and wear your masks, because we want to keep our schools open. We all want to be here. So please, I urge you to read this letter. Hopefully it clears up some of the confusion. But at times like this, it was a very short notice, but we are going to reap the benefits of the county is coming in. The county is doing the testing. Our personnel will be able to shadow them, our nurses and our clerical staff and our security guards. We can see how the operation works. And if our numbers continue to rise and we do wind up, in an orange zone, even a red zone, which I will be sending you tomorrow, the latest explanations from the Department of Health, we'll be able to do these tests ourselves and remain open. Ladies and gentlemen, can't stress that enough. Our goal is to stay open in a safe and healthy way. And it might sound a little odd to be talking about this right now, but there's an old adage. When the time to fix a leaky roof is on a sunny day, you don't wait for it to rain. The reverse, the time to plan for the new beginning, the time to plan for good times is at your darkest time. We've heard this a lot. It's darkest before the dawn. I truly believe in my heart that we are, coming to the end of a long road. We do see some hope out there. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. So we are continuing to plan to reopen our secondary schools fully. Now, please, let's not go jump off the ledge here and go crazy. What we're going to do is we're going to have a board meeting on January 6th, Wednesday, January 6th. I will send a letter, out next week outlining some proposals. The proposal will include, depending on where we're at, the chance for people to go to the virtual learning for a short period of time. We would not ask them to go for the rest of the year. But to repeat, we want to thank everyone who signed up to test. If everyone who signed up to test gets tested, we will exceed the 20% limit. I'm very proud of the people of this community. Just to clarify on the testing also, the high school and middle school students will be escorted over by our security staff. They will get tested. Our staff, teachers and support staff have been given times to come also. And we got an excellent turnout from them. We got an excellent turnout from our students. And the kids on the off-day cohort at the secondary level will come up, whether the parents drive them or they ride their bike, they'll get tested and then they'll go back home. The elementary students who, I give these kids a lot of credit. They'll come after school with their parents and get tested. This is and I want to, give a public thank you to the entire administrative staff, especially Dr. Bells and Mr. Estivo, who are our COVID leaders. The county is learning as they go also, so we have been able to work with them and they'll go from us to the next district. We are one of numerous districts that are in this position. So I'm proud to say that East Islip has responded the way we want them to. And then next week you'll get something from me that begins to outline our thoughts and plan for coming back full-time at the secondary level, which will include a virtual option, a shorter virtual option, because we really are hoping by the spring that this will be a distant memory. And then we will have a meeting on January 6th to publicly discuss our plans and thoughts about returning full-time. With that, I want to reiterate, keep in touch with your loved ones, especially the ones maybe who are not near you and maybe alone, virtually through FaceTime or Zoom. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy your family. We can do gift exchanges in the spring. It's much safer, and instead of worrying, about the rush to go shopping, we can just enjoy each other's company, which is the best gift of all. So again, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, and we will, we'll see you back here at the board meeting on January 6th. Thank you very much.
Yes, if we have questions on the testing, do you want to do it now or won't wait till new business?
Let's wait until new business. I think we'll be quick with our business. So moving on to agenda items, certified personnel. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the resignations, terminations, leaves of absence, position abolitions, of employment appointments, tenure appointments, and salary changes in accordance with applicable provisions of education law and civil service law as cited in the certified personnel attachment. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
I have a question on 1, 2, and 3, the unpaid leave of absence. Is this something normal or is there a?
It says FMLA. See the reason?
Family medical leave.
Family medical.
Personal reasons.
Yeah.
Medical. Okay.
All right, any other question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I oppose number 4.
Noted.
If I can, I just want to say congratulations to Dr. Bells for getting granted tenure. She's gotten it twice before. She's been with the district now, how many years, Dr. Bells?
Going into my 18th.
And there's not many people who work harder than Dr. Bells here in this district, I'll tell you that. So well-deserved. Congratulations, Dr. Bells.
Thank you.
No cake.
I just want you to know, we didn't have any cake tonight, but and I do want to thank the board, and I want to congratulate Dr. Bells. I mean, let's face it, I think this is the 5th time she's gotten tenure in her career, which means somehow she can't hold a job even after she gets it. But, when I got here, Dr. Bells was the first real hire that I made. And again, as I get a little bit older, it's not what you do when you're here necessarily, but it's what you leave behind, and we want to leave behind a strong team. We're going to have, in the next several years, you're going to see a lot of change here. And Dr. Bells has certainly proved herself, and she's earned this, and I know we're going to have some real tough decisions, because I think we're going to have the opportunity to hire the next great generation of East Islip employees, and I think I have great confidence in Dr. Bells, and she's going to lead that charge. So congratulations, Dr. Bells.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, non-certified. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the resignations, termination, leave of absence, position abolition, employment appointments, tenure appointments, and salary changes in accordance with applicable provisions of education law and civil service law as cited in the non-certified personnel attachment. Get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
I have a discussion, a question on number 3. Did this person come off a list? Is this something that we made up, or what? What is this?
Number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, I disregard, I made a mistake. Number 2, I'm sorry. My glasses.
We had this position in the past. It is a
I can't hear you.
it's a non-competitive title, so it
So
doesn't
there's no
come off the
civil
list.
service involved with this?
Well, it is a civil service title, but it is non-competitive, so it doesn't come off a list.
There's no list at this time
No, there's no list
But
ever
if they-
for that position.
for this, but it is a civil service.
It is a civil service.
And if civil service turns around to have the test, does this gentleman have to take that test?
That I would have to check into because it's a non-competitive title, so non-competitive titles don't take a test.
Right, at this time, but I'm saying if it becomes competitive down the road, how do you work this out now?
I would have to check into that.
Okay, thank you,
Get that.
that's all.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I had something else, yes, I'm sorry. On these student teachers, are they being put into the classroom if needed?
Yes, they are.
They are, but they're not certified.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, just asked. Thank you, that's it.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Wait, Joe, just before you go, there's another piece to the puzzle. I want to congratulate Matt Kavanaugh, who's our new school maintenance crew leader. I think that with Anthony Gagliano and Matt Kavanaugh, the district is now poised to move forward. We have a lot of good men and women in that department, and I think you have two men who are East Islip born and bred, and who really truly believe in East Islip. And I look forward to watching them grow as a team, and I think they are the right men to lead our team. So I'm excited about that. So congratulations to you, Matt, wherever you are.
okay. Just to piggyback what Mr. Dolman said, I think we should jump to 6.4 and a motion to accept the agreement with Matt Kavanaugh as school maintenance crew leader.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Ms. Walsh, if you want to do the motions, you can go
No,
right
I was
ahead.
just excited.
We have the next one.
You got the next one.
So, all right, memorandum, okay, so then we're backtracking to 6.3. Joanne, I'm sorry. Memorandum of agreement between the East Islip School District and the East Islip Teachers Association Security Guard Unit, July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2024, as written. Can I get a motion?
Yes, motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Joanne's gotta practice that motion.
Okay, consent agenda items. Would anyone like any of the consent agenda items removed at this time? So we can discuss it?
9.3, I'd like to have a discussion on an update.
9.3? Okay, any others? No? Okay, so, we agreed 9.1, 9.2, and then 9.4 through 9.18. Passes as a consent agenda. And going back to 9.3, school comprehension education plan. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the school comprehensive education plan, SCEP, for the East Islip Middle School. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, Mr.?
Yeah, I just wanna know, how many kids are in this program now?
That is a school-wide plan. It's for the entire school.
The whole school is not,
The
is
whole-
below a standard, the state standard, the whole school?
No, the plan is for the entire school. The school was identified for a targeted population, but the plan is supposed to address the needs of all the students.
Again, the whole school's targeted for this program,
The plan is to target the improvement for the entire building, yes.
for the whole school, but it's
Right.
only a few students that need it?
There's a targeted population that needs to be addressed. But the goal of the plan is to help improve the entire building, yes, 6 through 8.
And how bad is the building?
It's not bad at all. It's
But
just
the state says it is.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Paul, have we had to do this, we had one other building that we had to do this in the past few years?
We did 2 PRIPS, the Participation Rate Improvement Plan for JFK, and the middle school as well, due to the low participation rate in the state assessment,
Okay,
which is part of the reason why the middle school was identified for the TSI.
thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Donation. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts a donation of $850 from the JFK community to purchase a memorial bench in memory of the former head custodian, Joseph Grimmer. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's a very nice way to commemorate Mr. Grimmer. Donation to the high school art department. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts a donation of the 1 digital Canon PowerShot camera SD6501S and 1 digital Canon PowerShot camera A640 from a community member, Mr. Leshner. This donation is valued at approximately $650. This donation will be a wonderful addition to the high school art department. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Again, thank you, Mr. Leshner, for this donation.
We gotta work on this real quick.
Another donation. People are being very generous to the district, thankfully. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts a donation from Suffolk Transportation of 15 $100 gift cards totaling $1,500 that are to be distributed to district families in need. Gift card recipients will be spread across the district. The district's social workers will help identify those families in need. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Suffolk Transportation, for that donation as well. Appropriation change. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the attached list of appropriation changes. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion?
Steve, can you go over what this is about? Especially the larger of the numbers?
The larger transfer on the agenda tonight is to cover the cost of the shields that are placed on the student desks at the middle school and high school. There were four smaller transfers that are just normal operating procedures, making sure we're spending out of the proper account codes. And there were two codes that were slightly over encumbered by $3 and $4, $4 and $6 respectively.
I was wondering also, is there, I know we are, but do we have a number, or can we get a number of how much we've spent with respect to our COVID expenses, including the shields?
Yeah, we've created separate codes.
Right, I remember you said that.
To specifically track that, so we can put a number together perhaps for the next.
Just interested to see where we're at.
Next board meeting.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, old business?
Yes, I have two questions, Mrs. President. One, Steve, could you explain to me about New York State will not give us the money that we gave Suffolk County Transportation over the months that they didn't pick up the kids, and why?
New York State issued a memo earlier in the month or late last month indicating that transportation aid is to be paid solely for the transportation of students, not for other things that might have taken place during the closure last year, such as delivering food or serving as hotspots or simply maintaining their operations. So there is some advocacy being done now to bring those other initiatives into the fold so they can get paid for state aid as well. And
So there's a possibility that we could get our money back that we gave them for not doing anything.
the state aid portion.
Right, that's what I'm stating, this is the state aid. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
I have another question on old business, the bond money. Apparently, we're doing very well with the bond money, and we're now getting some money back. Do you have a total of how much we're getting back on some of these projects?
We've not yet to begin getting money back on these projects. State aid is paid upon the final cost report being submitted to the state. We are in the process of submitting for the 3 projects that have come to a conclusion. Phase 1 and 2 of the field project, as well as the music suite. So that money will be paid at 70% of what was spent over a 15 to 18 year time frame.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other old business? No? New business. I just have one thing I'd like to start with. There was a survey sent out to parents asking their willingness to allow their child to participate in COVID testing. And then directly after that, we didn't even get a report on how many families participated in that survey. All of a sudden, it was please volunteer. So can you tell us, out of the people that responded to the survey, I know Mr. Dolan already discussed it, with the COVID, we're above what our threshold is, but if you could just say what the survey.
The willingness to test survey went out, I guess just before Thanksgiving, and it was due on the 29th of November, and we had about, between staff and, faculty, staff, and parents and guardians, we had close to about 990 responses. A few of them were doubles up, so I would go closer to 950. And out of that, 75% of those who responded were parents and guardians. And out of the responses willing to be tested, there was about 43% that said no, and the remaining 50-some-odd% that gave a yes response.
Okay, and then out of the staff that responded, were they all positive? So were we greater than the 50% response?
We couldn't break
Okay.
it up between,
So it was greater than 50%.
we were able to break up who were staff and faculty, who were parents, and then it was just the responses. So it wasn't broken down by
By category, okay,
Right, mhm,
okay.
So it's 50% of the 75%, or is it 50% of the total?
total.
Over 50%,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Mr. Dolan, if somebody did not return the form, can they just come down to the ECC tomorrow to be tested or no? Or Dr. Bell's, or anybody?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, they
They
can, yes, we
Um,
will accept, parents to bring their children.
And some of the questions I saw was, why is this now all of a sudden a rush for Thursday and Friday? Mr. Dolan?
I'll give you the timeline. I received a phone call on Monday morning, approximately 11 o'clock, from my association president, alerting me that who's been working very closely, the executive board of my association, working very closely with the county, both the county executive's office and Department of Health. He said, you're gonna get a phone call at 2:30. I'm not sure if you're going to be, but because we were one of several districts that's been identified, we grabbed the COVID team. As you notice, I looked at Dr. Bells for that answer because I'm gonna stay in my lane here and make sure this, gets done correctly. Received a phone call at 2:30. We had a Zoom call with the Department of Health, at which time we were told that they are finishing testing in a district on Wednesday. They would be here Thursday to set up shop. We had been told a couple of weeks ago to prepare for this, so we had multiple scenarios, multiple plans. Originally, we were told we would get 48 hours notice and then have 2 weeks to test. The county has sped that up, because of the spread of COVID. And they said we will be there on Thursday, and we took one of the planned scenarios that we had. We immediately, Dr. Bells, Mr. Estivo, got our facilities director, and we set up a testing. We had one of the scenarios was to test at the ECC. So just to reiterate the timetable, I got a call at 11 o'clock on Monday morning, being told to be ready for a 2:30 call with the COVID team, and the county said they would be here on Thursday. And in 48 hours, I think that the team has done an excellent job putting this together. It was not, we have other work to do too, but we they prioritized and were able to get everybody ready to go, and tomorrow morning we will begin testing.
So I'm sure this wasn't the district's choice. If we could have had them here all next week and all 6 schools, that would have been our preference, no? But, we have to rely on them when they could be here and their schedule, no?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Secretary, there are 68 school districts in the county. The Suffolk County Department of Health has limited resources. They don't have teams to go everywhere. Quite frankly, if they had to test every district in the county, they wouldn't get done till summertime. We are going to have people here tomorrow and Friday from other districts to see what this looks like, because they're going to be told to do this on their own. And again, I stress, this is our yellow test, and you'll get the information tomorrow. But if we fail enough tests and pass, I'm not trying to be flip there, but if our rate is what we think it's going to be, this will count as our yellow test. And I think it's important that we support our county officials who are trying to keep us safe. So, but given the choice, I wish we didn't have to do this. And this was a tremendous amount of work for the team in a very short period of time. So it really doesn't make sense to have called them up. And if we had 2 weeks, we would have probably had sites at the individual schools because we had plans for that. But we're not going to shy away from it. In East Islip, we tell the kids all the time, roll up your sleeves, go to work, get up, do your job. And if this can help, if this draws attention to this, if people make good decisions, and I stress, if you don't feel well, you stay home, wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance. We want to crush this number down, and we want to be back in school. Testing helps. If you're sick and you test positive, you're out and you're going to go get better. So, we didn't solicit this, but we are proud to serve for the greater good.
What's the cost to the district of having the testing?
No cost to the district. The county is bringing people here. full disclosure, we will have a couple of security guards extra in the parking lot, so it'll be very minimal cost.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other? I'd like to just touch on our January special meeting that we're gonna schedule for January 6th, a Wednesday. In the event that we continue this hybrid model, can the district look at the secondary's use of Mondays throughout the rest of the year, so that way we can alternate it? I know the Bay Shore School District does Monday, Tuesday for cohort A and Thursday, Friday for cohort B, and they alternate Wednesdays. So maybe we need to, because there's 2 Mondays in January following that January 6th meeting. If we continue, if we're not full in secondary, can we utilize the 11th and the 25th? Because the 18th is MLK, as that additional teaching day in person for the hybrid, and then carry that forward until we can bring the kids full in, because I think that would help some of the secondary families, especially in the middle school, to start planning. And if the district has to then pivot and change Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday, and alternate Wednesdays, that's a different scenario too, because if you want that continuity, Trustee Walsh had mentioned at a prior meeting that maybe we look at flipping the cohorts at the second part of the calendar, just to make that more equal, because many times the teachers will teach and then test on a Thursday, Friday, which is, a stress on the cohort B. So those are some of the dynamics that, if we could discuss that at the January 6th meeting, and maybe there could be a few internal discussions about utilizing those Mondays in the event that we have to continue hybrid. But I would hope that our numbers plateau and then decrease, and we can then resume the plan that we were hoping that we were gonna incorporate, this month with full in at the secondary. And then again, I know the professional development piece, but if we could then also look at the extra help schedule, because it looks like the extra help at the secondary level it's not consistent. So I'll just leave it at that. So if we could just make sure that it's more consistent, it's not just on a Monday, that it is, again, either before school or after school, video chat or whatever the circumstances is that they're answering emails, that there is just some kind of accommodation for the kids that, or maybe this, especially the 6th and 7th graders that maybe don't have the support because they're home on Mondays and they can't get that extra help. Those were just a couple of things that I was hoping could be discussed as we're looking at bringing the kids back, or the hybrid continues, until we can safely do that. Any other new business?
I've seen the emails like you have, Jess, and I don't have kids in a secondary level, but if I could just ask the brain trust. The Mondays are supposed to be now, the teachers are given that time to help the virtual kids. And if we go back full time, I assume we're gonna increase the number of virtual kids. Is it possible even to bring the kids in on Mondays? When would the teachers have the time then to do the virtual kids? Is that an option? How does that work?
I think, Chris, the best, and Jess kind of framed it out. And I know this is difficult because people like routines, people like change is not easy. We've said this from the very beginning about being flexible. Now, our model is, like many other districts, is evolving to meet our needs. We've gotten a number of inquiries about this. People have commented. We will have discussions in the next, week or two and be ready for the January 6th meeting. But I will say to everybody, we need to have options, because we were ready to go. We were ready to come back, and I know people some people were disappointed and some people were relieved. we were poised and ready. We said, we got the elementary back at the end of September, and then we said we're gonna get the secondary back, and we chose a day. The circumstances changed, but I think it is, if I hear what, President Carney and Vice President Zachary are saying, we are gonna go back, we'll have the discussions, we'll get you the information, and then we'll have a public conversation about, the what ifs. If we're gonna come back full-time, we need to give people an option to go virtual, and it should not be for a half a year, because I think we're gonna be in much better shape in the spring. What we're gonna do with these Mondays could be dependent upon whether we come back full-time or not. If we come back full-time and we need the Monday, to stay the same. If we don't come back full-time, the Monday might become something else. And I know that's frustrating for people to hear, but, and it's a time of national crisis, we need to be patient. We've said it over and over again, patient, there are sacrifices that have to be made. I'm gonna say this, we've had to, if people act in a selfish manner and they don't respect the health official warnings, that's when we get into trouble. Whether it's what you see when 300 people go to a house party out in Brookhaven, or, people don't wear their masks, or they don't social distance. So, I think it's time to reevaluate the Mondays, but we're gonna reevaluate in the context of the bigger picture. And I, for one, would love to get everybody back in school together as soon as possible in the secondary level in a safe fashion. So that, we will have all that information for everybody January 6th. And, let's get through this. We can see it. I mean, there's a surge. People are hurting, people are sick, people are, struggling at work. Let's try to get through the holidays, but we will have a letter for you next week, and then we will have all the information on, January 6th, but everything has to be evaluated on an ongoing basis.
Well, again, thank you and your team. I know you guys work very hard to do the best for not only the virtual kids, but the kids who are in school, for the teachers. There's a lot of factors and things that go into this, and I know you guys are working very hard, the teachers are working very hard to keep our kids in school, so thank you guys.
I tried to bite my tongue, but when you talk about sacrifice, the kids are making a huge sacrifice. And I disagree. I think that the closing of school posed more risk than the kids coming to school. And I hope I'm wrong, but we have to be leaning towards getting the kids in the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
We spent a lot of time, 6 years I've been on the board, we spent a lot of time making the buildings as safe as possible. And I said this about a month ago. We've had drug education, we've had suicide prevention education, we've secured the buildings, we've done everything to make the buildings safe, and now we're telling the kids, you can't come 3 of the 5 days a week. And the focus should be on getting the kids in the building.
And Bill, I agree, and I think I like the fact that we're having a meeting January 6th, and I think, when you look at the country, it's divided. So if we can have options where people that wanna come back full-time are gonna come back, and the people who need a few more weeks, because again, I do believe we're gonna see a big difference come, March or April. But we have to continue to have these conversations. I ask people to be patient, and part of the communication confusion is that our government officials are adjusting as we go. But I think, this is crystal clear, and I'll say it again. We want to get all our secondary kids back as soon as possible. And again, some may be comfortable coming back sooner. And if we give the others who need a little more time, and I stress, remember we said at the beginning of the year, if you go virtual, you go to the end of January. We could do a shorter window, which I think would help some people who, whether it's a medical condition or just personal belief. I see a pathway to reopening the schools in a safe, orderly, fashion, and I'm very excited about, the holidays, and I'm very excited about January 6th.
No, I agree. I've said since August. I think the virtual option is exactly what we need to do. I'm not against that. It's either all in or out. The hybrid is not where we should be. I know there are people in town, I've seen the emails too, who like the hybrid. I just don't particularly care for it, and I think that the evidence shows that we're putting the kids at great risk, and I hope that we can get them back as soon as possible.
Billy, let me ask you something. If they're safer in school, aren't they better off being in school 2 days a week than being out of school with 2 days a week if it's safer?
Well, at the secondary level, I don't believe so, because I'm sure Jess can attest to it, the cohorts mix. There's more time outside of school where the kids have potential to mix. If you're in school 5 days a week, you go to school, you come home, you do your work.
They're not mixing in a huge,
No, but they're
No,
still mixing, they're
they
still
are,
going
correct.
to friendlies, or they're going for a ride in the car, and I'm sure they're not wearing the masks in the car, and they're doing the things that high school kids wanna do, and not for nothing, we, as parents, we can make sure that the kids aren't doing that, but this has been since March. You're telling your teenage kid, hey, you can't do anything from March all the way through November. At some point, you have to let the kid live his life, and there's a lot, and that's the problem with the hybrid, right? Is that there's a lot of vectors of, even at the elementary school level or the middle school level, they're gonna be going to someone else's house the days they're not in school. But if they're here full-time, they go to school, they come home, if they're high school kids, they take a nap, they get something to eat, they eat their dinner, they go homework, and they do the same thing every day. But now with 5 days off, a lot of them are working, right? There's a lot of kids at the high school level working, they come into contact with all types of people. Yeah, I just think that kids need to be in school, and there's I've said the reasons why. I just hope that we can get them back. Let's be a leader like we are in a lot of ways of getting kids back in the buildings.
I agree. I would like to ask for one thing. I would like to, first of all, commend the kids and commend the faculty and staff, because, we're seeing a lot of good things. Okay, are we perfect? No, but if we were perfect, quite frankly, we'd have to close the schools because everybody was getting it right. But I see a lot of people now digging in even more, saying, okay, that we're not gonna let this bug beat us. We're gonna beat this bug back. We're gonna wear our masks. I got a nice email from a very nice person. I won't say her name, but she reminded me that if you're sick, stay home. Don't try to gut through the day. If you're sick, stay home, go get tested if you have symptoms. That's huge, and social distance. But let's not give the kids wiggle room. And this is, I'm talking to the kids out there. I know myself personally, my mother said it to me, if we continue to talk about how far they're falling behind, I wouldn't do my work, because I'd say, well, it wasn't me, it was COVID. Kids, life is a challenge, life is difficult. Life means you get up in the morning and climb that mountain, go home, go to bed, and climb the mountain again tomorrow. That's the joy in life, that's, the challenges. We've been rocked, but I'm a firm believer, in the faculty and staff here and the kids. When we're back together, the synergy, they're gonna be so happy to be back, it's gonna help. The ones that are hurting, we will identify them and get them help. But we have to take a very positive approach to this. We're gonna have better technology, which is just a tool for learning. Our classrooms are gonna be in a much better place. Our teachers are trying new things. I'm really enjoying, having teachers, show me some of the things that they are trying, and some are working better than others, but it's almost like COVID has given us a chance to experiment and get better. And, I think we have to say to the kids, hey, look, guys, going gets tough, the tough get going. But the goal now is, the conversation is changing to getting back into school. We'll ride out this last bad wave, and let's get back together and let's get it going as soon as possible. And again, that's why January 6th is gonna be, I think it's an exciting thing. It gives me something to look forward to on vacation.
He's got problems.
okay, well, I'm sure I speak from all of us, and we wish the community happy, and the staff and the administrators a happy and healthy holiday. And
I have, Mrs. President, I have one on the no business. Okay. We had a tragic house fire in Islip Terrace. Thank God nobody died. Is it true that our social worker went there and helped those kids?
Yes,
Good.
many of our staff members have helped
But I wanna congratulate them, the neighborhood does know about it, and I think that was outstanding.
That will pass the message, thank you.
Make sure that they, you know.
Okay, any other? No? Okay, so the next Board of Education, will have a special meeting on January 6th, and then it'll be followed by our regular business meeting on January 14th. Motion to
Motion.
adjourn?
You're not getting that one, Ms. Walsh.
Thank you all, good evening.